Grace the Gardens podcast. I'm your host, Constance Terrell. Today's topic at hand is Diary of a Black Man. I have an awesome guest today. He's going to introduce himself and we're going to get on up into it. So, thank you, Gendrick, for
Hi.
being here. Go
All
ahead
right.
and.
All right. My name is Gandrick Williams. Born and raised born in Ashland, Arkansas, raised in Texas County, and I'm just glad to be here myself.
Cool. We're going to hop off into these questions because they are funny. Some of them are funny, some of them are real, some of them all the things.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
my first question is an icebreaker question. Where does the Muffin Man live?
What's the Muffin Man?
The song, do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin
Oh,
Man, the
okay. It's been a
Muffin
long
Man?
time. Let's see here.
Who lives on?
Where's the Muffin Man live? Nebraska.
Yeah, no. Jury, Jury Lane.
Okay. All right. It's been a long time. Been a long time.
Yeah. The next question, because again, this episode is Diary of a Black Man, and I just want to know what's a few general principles for men. I know you can't speak for all men, but is there like a general principle for like all men?
Over the years, to me, and this is my personal opinion, being a man has been lost. You know, with certain things. Me growing up, I can honestly say I had a male figures in my life, and they took responsibility of being providers. And I really see a lot more now that is kind of like almost disappeared. And me personally, for being a black man, I think a black man should be able to say, "Hey, I gotta take care of XYZ before I take care of me." That's the
Wow.
household. That's it because how we go from era. I'll say my grandparents and stepdads and uncles was the men of the house to now. I just might not do nothing,
Yeah.
and then we ask why we in trouble. Then we ask why this happened. Then we ask why that happened. I mean, if you're just idle and don't have any goals or see yourself doing anything positive, negative always seep in, especially to me with black men.
Well, I am glad that you answered that just like you did, and this was not rehearsed at all because you know that I came out the lifestyle of homosexuality,
Right.
and you've seen the transition,
Yes, yes, yes.
and I'm grateful for your encouragement because every so often you will inbox me, I'm proud of you. I see this and I see that. So with that being said, I asked that question because I just started recently dating, and I got broken up with today with somebody that I wasn't even in a relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
All because of a general principle that I felt was a general principle for men. What happened was, I'm telling you, you give me your point of view on it.
All right.
This man asked me for some money.
Uh-huh.
December 22nd, 2024.
Okay.
I gave him the money, didn't think twice about it. He said, I'm going to pay you back in 2 weeks, would have been January 2nd.
Right.
I got my first payment January the 3rd of that. It wasn't the whole thing. So I'm looking like, okay, maybe he, whatever. Come to January the 30th, he sent me some more of it. So I'm like, this is we didn't discuss this. I didn't give it to you chopped up like this. Why are you chopping up my money like this? So I text him and I'm like, hey, you don't gotta worry about me paying me the rest of the money back. Oh, no. I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna pay you back Thursday, which was supposed to be last Thursday. Baby, it's Sunday. Still ain't got it. So but my thing is for men, general principle, don't chop it up without prior conversation with the person. I
I can
didn't give it to
understand
you
that.
chopped up, don't give it to me chopped up. Then he gonna talk about he act like he just so overwhelmed. I didn't check that out. Okay, check out. I'm just trying to hold you accountable on how to treat me as a woman. I don't know who you've been dealing with and who the what the why, but Constance Terrell, you will not deal with me that way. And I want to see your point of view on the black man, because this was a black man I was dealing with who I guess broke up with me because I tried to hold him accountable about paying me my money back.
First of all, when you borrow something from somebody, especially if you in a relationship
We wasn't even in a relationship.
or whatever y'all have going,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the arrangement was already set up. And like you said, if you having some issues paying me back or you got to kind of piece pay me, let me
Let me
make that decision.
thank you.
Second of all, you know what I'm saying? The situation, who knows what he needed it for.
He already told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a serious situation, you know what I'm saying, you need to take care of your business because you don't know what she had going on.
Come on in the room.
You know what I'm saying?
Come
The
on in the
thing is,
room.
when you taking something out of somebody else's bank account, eyes on in, that money's already pre-planned.
Come on.
So I'm doing you a favor, and I
Sacrificing.
need that replaced. That way things can be back accord. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what that is with me. If you know what I'm saying. And then me personally, if you can avoid it, if you trying to start something with somebody, especially if you the male, you might want to figure some other way to get that money out. Cause you know, a lot of times us as men, we think we a little slick or whatever, and we try to prey on somebody good heart, and that's not how you do stuff.
That's what he gonna say. I'm not trying to da da da, but you did. You
Right,
you did just that,
right,
but you don't got no you don't I'm not a dummy.
right,
And
right,
I did that, I kinda said my heart and I ain't really tripping, but I'm just trying to hold you accountable.
right. And then you know what I'm saying. If somebody tell you something about something like that, you know what I'm saying. Most guys these days are kind of sensitive and don't like to be put in a place, but they got need to learn. You know what I'm saying. Be Do what you're supposed to do when you say you're supposed to do it.
Period. And I gave this money to him 12, 22, 24. Here it is, March, and you just not paying me back.
Yeah, that's not how they
And
work.
it wasn't even that much.
Yeah, that's not how they work. And I'm sure you did several other things since then. So just take care of your business. You know what I'm saying? Just take care of your
Thank you.
business. Things happen. Just discuss what you got going. If you can't get it right then and there, but otherwise, just take care of your business when you can get took care of way before 90 days.
Thank you. So I just really appreciate you for validating me and my feelings. So the next question
Yeah.
is, what do you think the term angry black man, angry black woman stems from?
And me,
Yes.
I think certain people, and I'm not gonna name their names,
Please don't, because that
they
ain't gonna work.
tagged us.
Uh-huh.
They tagged black people as when you have an opinion about certain things, they want us to be, oh well. Me myself, I have learned to tone it down, but I'm never gonna be, oh well. You know what I'm saying? If it's something that offends me, if it's something that aggravates me, it's something that makes me a little upset, especially when they think we angry. If you in the wrong, and you just because you might be a supervisor at a job or you might be over this or over that, I'm not gonna ride with your wrong. I'm gonna say what need to be said, and if you and I say it in a loud tone, that's your problem.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? It's not no angry black man or no angry black woman. We are at the end of the day, we gonna erase that word black, and we just
mm-hmm.
gonna say people
People.
in general gonna
Yeah,
say what's on their mind.
that's good.
You know what I'm saying? So if you have something on your mind and you say it a little loud or you say it, you know what I'm saying, we're going to try our best to leave profane language out of, you know what I'm saying things. But if you just say it a little loud, some people be like, oh my God, I can't believe they said it like that. No, that's how it come out because of what the situation is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So don't ever think nobody's angry. You just said it a little loud. And you weren't expecting somebody to come back to you with how they said it. That's a lot of times people might think you because you one way one day. It's sometimes how long you think people just gonna set you just let get by with stuff before you just go off
Yeah.
or say it louder than you normally would. Because everybody not don't have a light tone. I know I don't, but I'm developing to fight my battles. That's real battles, and not if it's a war, say what you gotta say. If it's a skirmish, go on about your business.
Okay. That's wise. That's real wise. Okay. The next question is, what do you think the success rate of a child that has an active father in the home? And I say active because you can have a father in the home that's not active.
I say this here: discipline for any era of kid is what help people get along. And most of the time, the father was a disciplinarian, and he was active. and keeping you in line. When something is not keeping you in line, and I hate to say a lot of people don't listen to their mothers, even though they should, it's something about a father figure that keeps you in line. But if nobody holds you accountable or keeps you in line and puts a stern, hey, this need to be done this way, you're gonna do what you want to do. And you won't be successful. Every every person that is successful has made mistakes. But if you get off that straight line and stay on that curve line all the time without discipline, without having somebody in your life to tell you, hey, I made this mistake. I don't want you to make this mistake. You need to do this a different way than I did. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And a lot of people need that in their life. And I mean, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, we get into it with our baby mothers because I wasn't married to my kids' mothers, but we get into it with them this and that. But we learn as we get older, and especially, you know what I'm saying, this generation coming up, you need to be in your child's life. And you need to take an active role in their life, and you need to put them on a path of positivity and doing the right thing. Because there
Mm.
are so many kids that just don't. Hey, you get advice from the wrong people, and your parent should be able to give you advice to have you do what you need to do to be successful in life.
That's fact. So, would you rather have a gay son or a son that's in the streets, portraying to be a gangster?
Man, if I had, well, first of all, neither one
Hold on,
of
why you
them,
why you
neither
why,
one of them,
why
but
you tickled?
neither one of them, but I'm gonna have to roll with the guy in the streets because in so many ways I could reel him in. I can't control what somebody wants to do in their personal life, especially if they get older. All I can do is tell him, son, I don't think you're going on the right path. I think you need to figure that out, this, that, and the other. But the person that's in the street, they gonna hit their head most of the time. And you can roll them in and say, "Hey, you see what what is leading to. You know what I'm saying? This not for you. You not well raised like that. This not your lifestyle. But what can I tell somebody about their own body? What can I tell somebody that's on their own mind? I can give them what was taught to me, the biblical thing, but will they respond to that? That always that my grandfather was a reverend, and he told me that, and I'll never forget in the fourth grade, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, and it's always stuck with me. I always make posts, and I be funny, but it's serious. A lot of people didn't learn that as a child. If somebody upstairs destroyed a city because of an act, you know, or the big is a little piece that he told me about. Guys came to Lot's house
Mm-hmm.
to
That's true.
visit to get the angel that was there.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "You can have my three virgin daughters,"
Daughters, yeah.
and they didn't want the virgin daughters. But this the thing about that: the three daughters was married. What they doing virgins? Because their husbands didn't want them. Their husbands just married them to say they was married. And people don't look at that part. What do you have three married virgin daughters? That's not how that's supposed to go. So it's not for me to tell a man how to be a man when it comes to that. And your lifetime gonna go by. Whatever happens to you, you gonna have a talk with God. I say this all the time. And the talk with God is between you and him. Some discussions I know that I'm gonna have to talk to God about, but that's not gonna be one of them.
What about having a crackhead, a kid that's a crackhead, like on drugs, like just X out the gangster
Uh
or
huh.
whatever? So you would still lean towards the addicted son opposed to being a homosexual son.
Yes, because I can work on it.
Okay.
I can work on it. You know what I'm saying? It's plenty of cats I know that done went to rehab, but what can I tell someone that's 30 years old or 20 some years old about their sexuality?
It's a lot that can be said.
I can say
You can
it.
just drop them seeds. It
I,
ain't
I
for
can
you
say it.
to change nobody.
Yeah, I know, but I
You
can
know.
say it and tell them and give my viewpoint, but that doesn't mean they're gonna change. All I'm gonna say with this here, and I'm learning as I'm getting older, I'm not gonna ever accept your lifestyle, whoever they if with that situation, but I'm still gonna love you because you're my child.
I
You know,
got you. I got you.
yeah.
So, getting it, we finna get into like the meat and cheese and the bread and all the fixings of this podcast because your story, when you reached out and you told me, I was just like, yeah, he gotta tell these folks so they can have knowledge. But before we do that, what would the 40-ish Gandrick say to the 18-year-old Gandrick now?
Two things: rest. From 18 to 30, I wanted to hang out all the time. I might have worked two jobs, might have worked a lot of overtime, but I was always here and there. Whenever me and my wife go out, a bunch of folks always speak to me because I know people from here and there all over town. But if I could go back in time right now, I would be in the house. All that outside stuff, if it's one thing I could change about my youth, is just staying at home more. Don't plan to hang out Wednesday through Sunday.
Mm,
Cause I think about what I could have been doing more constructive things then instead of just doing all that hanging out. Cause really, what did all that hanging out get you? That's what I just look at now. I could have been resting, sleeping, you know what I'm saying, working a little bit more, but just always, coming home at 4 o'clock, this, that, and the other. That's just one thing I would change is just to just stay at home more. You know what I'm saying? Because when you at home and you resting, and I would say this, I used to be an avid reader. I would have did more of that. Just read more. Just read more. You know what I'm saying? Something I'm finna start doing a lot more now. And the other thing I would have worked on being a better dad. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with a father figure and father figures, and I know what they told me and they put in me. And I would say the TV shows back in the day, from Good Times and the Bill Cosby, they kind of put that out there what a father should be. But a lot of us did our own thing.
yeah.
If I can go back to that, I would have been more of a hands-on father.
Mm. I appreciate that. Your daughter is one of my good friends.
I
So
know, I know.
shout out to her.
Yeah.
Okay, getting to the meat and cheese of this.
Hmm.
Dun 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 dun. Hit the gavel on the
Yeah.
hit the what
Yeah.
thing on the gavel. I don't know. What is some of the biggest challenges that you faced as a black male? And this is going into you being wrongly convicted
Right.
of a freaking crime that I don't even know. Just tell your story.
Okay. 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 Uh, purchase some hot televisions. In the street. Person that did it, instead of him wanting to, just take the whole thing to himself. Him, he told on the 5 people that bought the TVs. Okay,
Mm,
got put on probation. All right. In so many ways, was doing good on probation. Then I had a little slip up. I didn't report for 2 months. Went to jail in 2017 for 2 weeks. This, that, and got reinstated. Okay, things happen. I was working a lot of overtime, going up there paying my money, but I wasn't reporting. So the lady, I will say this her, she was a butthole about a lot of situations. So, did that, got reinstated, everything fine. So wound up coming off probation in March of 2023. Okay, been got a ticket, never did pay it. So I can say I put my own self in this situation in so many ways.
you left that part out.
Yeah, but that's what happened. But the ticket part wasn't the main thing. I could have kind of, as the officer said, if it was a ticket, we would have let you go. So this is what my brain just not working. So that morning, I went and did a shop by Texas High. Then I drive and do my 8 hours in Cooper Tire. Then I did a residency in Rose Hill. So I'm going the back way through Milam. I get by Beverly School. Pop up behind me. Ask for my insurance. I tell him my license suspended. He said, "Well, I can let you go on there and get you a warning, get that fixed, but I gotta run it anyway." Okay, bet. He come back to the car. Mr. Williams, you're gonna have to get out. You have a probation violation. I said, what? He said, yeah. Said you've had a felony warrant on you since such and such date. I said, really? Okay. Call my wife, tell her what was going on, this, that, and the other, get in the back. We have a nice conversation. Whoever the officer is, sir, you were extremely nice. You talked a lot. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's extremely nice. So we get up there, this, that, and the other. Uh, I'm gonna say this about the bi-state. Y'all horrible. Your guards, your intake people, y'all are horrible, horrible people trying to get processed in. So arrested and at the box state at 4:30. Finally go back to the back at 1:35 p.m. Since I've been in jail before, I know what time you got to get up for breakfast. So got up and ate at 3:45. Really didn't sleep anyway. The next day, that's Thursday morning, we go to court. This, that, and the other. I'm the last person to get called out of 9. The judge say, Mr. Williams, you have a probation violation. Da da da. You won't be on the docket for 2 months. You are facing reinstatement or 2 years state jail. It's an either or. I can't tell you which one. I accept it. Go back to the pod, call my wife, call my sister. Shout out to them for taking care of so much business, this, that, and the other. Thursday night, I'm watching the Mavericks and the Boston Celtic game.
In jail.
In jail by myself. Whoever my Celtics was, they slept like they had been out for 12 years. I did not. They never did get up but to eat and use the bathroom. But anyway, so third quarter, something just hit me in my head. I put my head down on that steel table. I said, God, I know I don't talk to you except for when I need stuff. And I apologize for that and I'm wrong. But Father God, is there any way that you could see forth and get me out of this situation? Because something just don't sound right. After the game go off, I try to go to sleep. It's 2:45 a.m. Y'all roll it up. We going to the annex. I said, am I on 12 years a slave? Y'all waking us up in the middle of the night, transporting us. Okay. Get our stuff together, lock us up, shackle us up, take us to the pod, this, that, and the other. Eat again at 3:45 a.m. Get up that morning at 7. I see 2 cats I went to school with. We're in there talking this, that, and the other. The officer said, Mr. Williams, the officer said, hey, we need folks for to be trustees. We had a little situation go down, so we need some new trustees. Okay, bet. Sign up for it. Tell them what I do in the world, all the different jobs I work, go from there. Dude, come back at 8 o'clock. You've been selected to move back to the bi-state. You get paid $6 every Friday. I was saying to myself, what I'm gonna do with $6? But anyway, so sitting there talking this, that, and the other. 12:10 come Friday afternoon. Gandrick Williams rolled it up. Said, okay. Told them dudes get by, this, that, and the other. We walking down. So you can go out to go back to the bi-state or go in this little room. I said, where we going? He said, you're going to this little room right here. I said, okay. 2 female guards in there. I look on the floor. I see my clothes. I said, what my clothes doing in here? You been released. I said, ma'am, I'm not no snitch. I know what the judge told me. I have this paperwork right here. He said, it's bigger than what you think. Just get dressed and I'll talk to you about it outside. I said, okay. So I'm walking out and she stopped me right there. She said, Mr. Williams, I hate to tell you, but your probation officer made a mistake. She did not log you in the system. You've been had this felony warrant all these years, and your lawyer and your sister figured it out, and she has been in the DA office all day. You free to go. But what you need to do is retain your lawyer and take care of that because she is a butthole. The way this is her, I found out afterwards, this is her third time doing this in 10 years to different people that were on probation. Her third time. So, mind you, I'm still in disbelief that I am going home after somebody told you got to think about the shock I was in. 2 months before I go to court, 2 years state jail, or back on probation for 5 years. So I'm walking around. I had called my wife when I was in there. She pulled up, this, that, and other, gave me just the biggest hug in the world. And she told me, well, oh, they told us you might come home Monday, this, that, and other. But you said you wouldn't call me back to 8 o'clock, and I was gonna tell you was gonna be released. I'm like, what? But before all that, waiting on her, I sat down and I just looked up at the sky and I said, Lord, I know you do what you want to do, but I had no idea you was gonna move this fast. And I just say this, that whatever you do to get in trouble, if you take care of your business, they need to take care of their business. First of all, don't get in trouble. If you can avoid anything, just do what you're supposed to do. You want to be in that situation. But if you pay your debt to society, make sure your paperwork is correct. Because that could have turned in a whole nother situation.
Wow.
Whole nother situation. As in, could have been harmed in there. Could have failed in there out of a bunk bed. I haven't slept in a bunk bed like that in how many years? I'm finna be 50 in April. Anything can happen to you while you in jail. People say, hey, anything can happen to you. You could choke on some of that nasty food that stayed in my stomach 3 weeks afterwards. But anyway, people don't understand the control that a probation officer has over your life or a parole officer. They might not be having a good day and they might take that out on you. They might just don't like you, period, because of what you did, even though you paid your debt to society. If you get on probation or if you on parole, XYZ your situation in a straight line where you can get out of their system because it's designed to keep you in the system. Like I was saying, we're working. I had just did all that. I get pulled over because my brake lights out. And I kept saying to myself, I've drove all the way around Texarkana today. So when did my brake lights go out? But that's not the point. If I would have took care of my business and followed up on my release papers and all that, I wouldn't have been in that situation. But she didn't take care of her business, and I should have been the person to make sure she took care of business. So anybody that's going through that situation, make sure your stuff is filed correctly, or that could happen to you.
Yeah, that's fact. I seen the mugshot. I said, man, that's tough.
Yes, yes. I seen the comments and that was tough too. But like I said, I'm gonna always take the high road with it because I know how people like to, jug people when they go to jail, this, that, and the other. But I always say most of the people that did all the jugging been locked up.
Yeah, no, that's my that's my worst fear. I'm not going to jail. If I have to go to jail, then I done really did something really heinous,
Yes,
and you done push me to that level.
yes,
I'm not that kind of person.
yes.
Cause I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to jail. Never
I mean,
been.
and the thing is, most people can avoid that situation by just doing what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And I tell anybody that was something that I did to myself, but I took care of my business. Just the person that was over me didn't take care of their business.
Yeah, yeah. So that's diabolical.
There was and me, I hate to say it, I am a time freak. I don't know where I get that from. There was a long 72 hours.
Have you been in the military?
No, I've just always been a time freak.
Oh wow. Well, I appreciate you for sharing your story, sharing and spreading the word on staying on top of your stuff. If you in the system or have anybody that's in the system, you have heard it first here live at the Grapes to Gardens podcast studio. You got anything else to add or any gems to drop for the people?
Young men, find you something positive to do. Social media is not positive. Hanging out is not positive. Find you something positive to do or ask God to find you something positive to do. If you stay in the positive, you will not be in the negative. Simple as that, case closed.
That's it. All gas, no brakes. Well, you've been entertained in by the Grace to Gardens podcast season 3, episode 2. You already know what our anchor scripture is, Romans 8 and 28. If you need prayer for anything, text prayer to 903-733-7727. That number again is 903-733-7727. Be on the lookout for our documentary Redeemed, for some new merch. And boom, 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 boom. Shots fired, a mini series, a small branch off a big tree. And we are out. Over and out. Round 2, episode 2, season 3. Let's go. Little behind the scenes action.